This week we got some new info on Like a Dragon Yakuza, and you know I got notes, and you know I gotta talk about it. If you've never played Yakuza 1/Kiwami and you don't want to know what happens during that game, click away now because I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. We got an updated plot summary, and the biggest change I noticed is that Kiryu, Nishiki, Yumi, and new character Miho planned a heist at a local arcade in 1995, and it sounds like that's how they got caught up with the Yakuza because that arcade belonged to the Dojima family. Oh, what bad luck. So Kiryu and Nishiki go off to the Yakuza, and Yumi and Miho, from what I can tell, go work at the iconic bar Serena, which is ran by Reina, which is also part of Dojima property. The other change is that we have character Miho, who, if you look at the character cast page, is Nishiki's younger sister. So this is interesting because in Kiwami, her name was Yuko, and she didn't have much of a presence at all, right? She was only there to serve as Nishiki's motivation factor for staying in the Yakuza and raising money so he could pay for her medical expenses. And I hate to say it, but I don't think she's gonna make it out of 1995. I feel like her death still has to serve as that catalyst that turns Nishiki from who he is into a full-blown wackadoodle running blood gel through his hair and shit. I think it's gonna hit extra hard though because it sounds like we are gonna get to know her as a character, and I'm already dreading it. The other interesting tidbit is that it sounds like Date is the one who tells Kiryu that he needs to go save his friends because his friends are in trouble, but it also sounds like Kiryu is pardoned and let out of prison so he can prevent this war between the Tojo and the Omi. Who knows? So yeah, there's going to be changes. We already knew that. But when you look at the cast list, it gets even more interesting. Where is Haruka? Now, I am making an assumption that the first 3 episodes are probably going to focus on 1995, and the last 3 episodes are going to focus on 2005. If I'm wrong, all of my theories kind of go out the window here, but let's go. The relationship Kiryu has with this adopted daughter of his is hands down the most important one in the series. Like, there's no him without her. But that said, I don't know if it makes the most sense for her to be in these first 6 episodes, because think about it, the earliest we would see here would be episode 4 out of 6, right? That does not give you a lot of time to build and foster this really important and meaningful relationship between this little girl and this dude that just got out of prison, on top of all of the other plot stuff that's going on. I just don't know how that would work in a way that makes sense. We need her in this series, but my crystal ball moment, as I'm rubbing it right now, is what if she shows up at the end of the season, assuming Yumi still kicks the bucket, daughter shows up, and Kiryu is suddenly like, oh no, the love of my life is now worm fodder. I have to redeem myself and take care of her daughter and take her and treat her as my own. Poor Yumi. Speaking of Yumi, it sounds like she actually has a sister this time around, and her name is Aiko. So in Kiwami, she supposedly also had a sister. Her name was Mizuki, but that was Yumi all along. Weird and complicated, but I don't think that's the route they're going for this series, because if you look at the actresses for these 2 characters, they're different people, so no brainer there. And because Haruka is apparently missing, I'm wondering if Aiko is going to take the place of her when it comes to the missing 10 billion. Finally, just taking a look at Shintaro Kazuma, obviously Kiryu's role model, mentor, father figure, all of that good sappy stuff. His description is, quote, the former lieutenant of the Dojima family who now runs the orphanage where Kiryu and his friends were raised. So Kiryu and his friends being raised at an orphanage, okay, that stays the same. But it sounds like the former lieutenant, right? He's out of the Dojima family? I want to know, how the hell did he get out of the family, and why is he still alive if that's the case? But I do like how we get this look at him, and he's clearly trying to dissuade Kiryu from joining the Yakuza, which is, nothing abnormal for him as a character. I always felt like he was trying to guide Kiryu and Nishiki on a different path, but we all know how that turned out. Anywho, those are just some of my quick and dirty thoughts. Obviously, this video could have been 2 hours long with all the theories and guesses and what ifs that are out there. And obviously, it looks like we're having some major plot lines kind of go sideways, but I think what this is going to come down to is whether or not they can nail the tone of Yakuza. And if so, I think they can tell almost any story they want. So far, I think it's looking pretty good. So I'm very excited, and I guess we won't have long to wait. So let me know what you think.